Hey, Chaotic Crew, Brian here. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, whether it was with family or friends. Hopefully, you got a magic game in or two. In between all of the eating, we've got our own kind of Friendsgiving here in the deck tech for this week. Wanted to kind of celebrate the holiday and do a fun, kind of style of play that I typically don't usually do. So we can dive into that. You can kind of get a preview of the commander right there. Before we do, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Manapool. It's a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering, and it makes buying and selling cards easy. Your optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and the team is focused on making it a great experience for buyers and sellers alike. Big thank you to Manapool for helping the channel out here. I've used them in past and honestly had a great experience, so make sure to check them out. We have an affiliate link in the description below, so go ahead and head on over there. But back to Friendsgiving, right, which is all about eating good food, maybe giving gifts, right? We've got our new avatar commander, Iroh, Team Master. He is 1 in a Boros for a 2/2 human citizen ally. When Iroh enters, create a food token. So they're already kind of keeping with the theme of eating good, right? At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target opponent gain control of target permanent you control. When you do, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on that token for each permanent you own that your opponents control. So yeah, very cool there. You could go a couple different ways with this. You can give away some really bad permanents. You could also give away some really great permanents, right? I really wanted to make this deck more fun and to play against and as. So yeah, we're really just trying to give away good stuff. And who doesn't love food, right? Even if it's magic food, who doesn't love food? So we do have lots of creatures, so let's dive into that. But kind of the idea is, every combat, we're going to be giving away something small, maybe, not terrible, but then we're going to get a token that gets buffed more and more each turn, or each combat, excuse me, and then kind of go from there. Eventually be able to overwhelm our opponents with our board state. Not expected to win every game with this deck, but it is a fun way to play the game. We've got 25 creatures, so a crow and horse is really cool. It's an 0/4 defender for 4, and when it enters, an opponent gains control of it. And at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent puts a 1/1 white soldier creature token on the battlefield, so that's the beginning of whoever is controlling its upkeep. Everyone else will make a 1/1 white soldier, so which means we'll have a 1/1 white soldier as well. I don't love this. It gives them chump blockers to our big allies that we'll get later, but we're really not going to plan on attacking with our allies unless we have some other cards which we'll get to later. Apothecary White is a fun new card, or newish from I think this year. Has vigilance whenever you attack. Create a food token for each player being attacked. So essentially being able to make multiple foods a turn, and then you can tap X foods to create X 1/1 humans. So that's really great to continue making even more tokens, right, that we can kind of give away to our opponents. Aurelia, the War Leader, is fantastic. A great creature to be attacking for these attack triggers, right? But also gives us extra combat steps to give away more things, so really great there. City Pigeon is fun. Also another great creature to start attacking, but also when it leaves the battlefield will make a food, so that's pretty good there. Discerning Financier is going to make us treasure tokens as the game goes on, and then we can give our opponents treasure tokens to draw a card, and that's pretty cool there. Firemantle Mage is one of the cards I was kind of talking about. It's really more of an ally card, but because, Iroh is an ally, he makes allies, then it's really going to go well. It's essentially giving our allies menace every turn, so that's good to have. Just to go over some of the other, spells we have that care about allies. Kazul Warlord will give our allies +1/+1 counters. Undo Champion will give them all trample. And then lastly, we have Kabira Evangel, which is going to give them all protection from a color, right? So can really swing in on a person with this one. So very strong there. We have Flump as a defender, and whenever Flump is dealt damage, us and target opponent will draw a card. So that's pretty good. We can kind of make deals to draw cards with someone each turn. Very great political card here. Guide of Souls gains us some life every turn. Maybe going to make it so that we can buff our commander or some other creatures even more, give them flying to help them get through. Just a really solid card here. Humble Defector, probably great in any group huggish kind of deck, and obviously our opponent's going to get control of them to draw cards, so really solid there. I think you could play this deck mean, but I think playing it nice is the much better way to go here, and Humble Defector really goes well with that. Lord of the Third Path will destroy an artifact or enchantment when it enters, but it also, you can make up for it by having people draw cards. Loyal Apprentice will give us more 1/1 tokens that we can either give away or keep ourselves. Master of Ceremonies is really cool. Beginning of each upkeep, each opponent chooses money, friends, or secrets. For each player who chooses money, you and that player each make a treasure token. For each player who chooses friends, you and that player each get a 1/1 citizen. And for each player who chooses secrets, you and that player each draw a card. So very strong there. Rosie Cotton is South Lane. Whenever she enters, you make a food token. Whenever you create a token, you can get +1/+1 counters on other creatures, which is kind of what this deck is doing anyways. Another kind of in-game card is Sephiroth, Fallen Hero. He is really great because when he attacks, you put a spell counter on target creature, and then each modified creature you control is base power and toughness 7/5. Because all of our allies have +1/+1 counters, sure, their base power and toughness will be 7/5, but then they'll be buffed even more on top of that. So really, really good there. And he can also return himself from the graveyard, so a very strong card in the deck to end games. South Pole Voyager, more of a early game card you want in the battlefield. 2 mana for a 2/2. Whenever it or another ally enters, you gain 1 life. If it's the second time, you draw a card, right? So an incremental life gain, but also card draw, which is really good. We've got Stiltskin, Moogle Merchant, just a 1/2 lifelinker, and you can just draw a card to have someone else gain control of a permanent you control. So whether it's a food or not, if you want to give someone your Sephiroth, you can totally do that, right? Nothing's stopping you. So that's really cool there. I do have Treasure Nabber, right? If we're giving things away to our opponents, then we should be able to be helped out by them too, right? So yeah, might as well. It's a law of equivalent exchange, and it's Friendsgiving. So even though you're hosting, might as well get some rewards back from it, I guess. Right? Tuk Tuk Scrapper, another one of those ally synergistic cards, and this time it destroys artifacts and potentially, it will burn your opponents for the number of allies you control. So pretty good there. Welcoming Vampire will draw us a card when Iroh will make a token every turn, which is nice. Witch Enchanter, just a good land that can double as a artifact or enchantment removal. Yes Man, Personal Securitron, obviously really great. It gives you 2 cards. It's similar to Humble Defector. And then when Yes Man leaves the battlefield, its owner, which is us, creates a tapped 1/1 white soldier for each quest counter on it. So that's each time it's been used. So yeah, if someone board wipes, that's kind of the main problem with Humble Defector. A board wipe kind of just gets rid of it. Yes Man kind of gets past that by keeping us ahead, right? So really good there. Zidane, Tantalus Thief, really great card. 5 mana, 3/3. When he enters, you gain control of a creature and opponent controls until end of turn. You untap it. It gains lifelink and haste. And whenever an opponent gains control of a permanent from you, you create a treasure. So if we're giving opponents treasures, we'll get a treasure back. It's fine. Or, if we give them a food, we get a treasure. So we kind of will, at the least, come out ahead. If we do end up giving, another creature we have, like maybe a 1/1 token or whatever, I'm fine trading that for a treasure. Because we're also getting another ally with our commander each combat. So that's really good there. Sorceries, we've got 8 here, and I'm just going to switch this printing real quick because nope, never mind. No Wi-Fi is terrible. But Blasphemous Act is really great. Promise of Loyalty, Winds of Abandon, kind of the 3 board wipes in here. Blasphemous Act deals damage, but there's a lot of things that get past that. So Promise of Loyalty sacrifices them all. Winds of Abandon exiles. It's probably the most fair exile board wipe there is. So putting that in here too. This is Friendsgiving, right? You don't want to lose friends while playing this deck. We've got Cut a Deal, right? We're going to draw 3 cards, and each opponent's going to draw 1 card. So love that. Seize the Spotlight's fantastic for this because we have our opponent choose Fame or Fortune. Obviously, for Fame, we gain control of a creature of that player controls until end of turn. Untap it, they gain haste. For each player who chose Fortune, we draw a card and create a treasure. So its potential, this is just free, draw 3 cards. Or we can gain control of 3 creatures and do something with them. Yeah, so this is great because we can get a creature and then we could end up giving that creature with Iroh, and then it stays with whoever we just gave it to Iroh with. And so most people will let us just draw 3 cards with this. I think that is kind of the idea. Obviously, if they have a pretty bad board state board, they just have tokens or something, then they may choose the other. But and then we could just use whatever we get from that to give to another person, right, and make a really good ally token. So Seize the Spotlight, never bad in this deck, I feel like. Late to Dinner is fun, right? We return a creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield and create a food. So really good to get some of our, strong creatures out of here that are really helpful, like these, ally creatures, or maybe even something like Aurelia or Apothecary White, or I don't know. There's definitely some good options there, and maybe get our commander out to get past commander tax. And then Taunt from the Rampart is also just great in the end game. Go to all creatures our opponent control until our next turn they can't block, which is really great to help get our massive allies in. Deal a bunch of damage, have them all attack, and then have another turn where we can kind of do a bunch of damage. So unless someone board wipes there, which is why we're going to get to the next spot. We do have some anti-board wipe stuff here. Flawless Maneuver. As you can see, Restoration Magic is fantastic. Boros Charm. All 3 of those kind of deal with board wipes. Not running any game changers again. We want to keep our friends. Chroma's Will is fantastic to end the game. Don't really want to use it defensively. It's more of an offensive card. We are drawing a decent amount in this deck, I feel like. So we do. I think having a bunch of cards like Chroma's Will is fine. You run the risk of running a hand where you get like a Chroma's Will, Taunt from the Rampart, Sephiroth, and Kazul Warlord, and it's like I don't love that hand, but it is what it is. Chaos Warp, Generous Gift, Path to Exile, Swords, Stroke of Midnight, Untimely Malfunction, Wear and Tear are just removable pieces. Honestly, you can play Police at the table. Your friends might hate you for it a little bit, but we also run Settle the Wreckage and Comeuppance for when they decide to attack you. Right? And they can just lose their whole board. So something to keep in mind. And then Ephemerate. Ephemerate's really great for our commander. Brings it back in. Makes another food. We can give that food away. And this happens again. So it's just good value for 1 mana, I feel like. 15 artifacts we're running in the deck. Arcane Signet, obviously. Boros Signet. We are running, Thought Vessel and Talisman of Conviction. Those are the main mana rocks, only 4, not a lot. We are running Bucknard's Everfull Purse, which is another great card that you can pass around the table to get some mana. That's really good. Inspiring Statuary would be fantastic. As we're making foods, we can tap them for mana or treasures even, right? We have we do have some artifacts, some foods, but before we get into that, Pendant of Prosperity enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent. And then we can pay 2 mana and tap it to draw a card. Then put a land from our opponent that we give it to. Can draw a card, put a land on the battlefield, and then we draw a card and we can put a land on the battlefield. So it's pretty much another political piece, right? As a hey, here's an olive branch or something to help you out. And we also run Limdus. When it enters the battlefield, we'll scry 1 and draw a card. So it kind of replaces itself. And then we'll shuffle it back into our library when it's used by our opponent after we give it to them, right? And then Instant Ramen, when it enters, we draw a card, and it has Flash. That doesn't really matter. It's just, we're giving food to our opponent. And Friendsgiving, especially when we're younger, not going to be a lot of stuff there, so maybe it's just instant ramen. We also got Bagel and Schmear, which is probably the best one and the one we don't want to give the most to our opponents because they can just draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. It also works for us if we want to do that to one of our creatures, right? So there's that too. Pretty good, solid. Peter Parker's Camera is great. It enters with 3 film counters. You can pay 2 and tap it. Remove a film counter to copy an activated or triggered ability we control. Choose new target to the copy. So we can copy our commander's ability with this. And then once it's out of film counters, we can just give it away to our opponents. So I really love this card here. Staff of the Storyteller and Eye of Oblivion just help us draw more cards. And Staff will make 1/1 Spirit as well. Carrot Cake also scries and makes rabbits. And good to give away too. Shiny Impetus, fantastic. Gets +2/+2 and goaded. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, we create a treasure token. So this is just fantastic to get a really strong creature off our back, or maybe help ramp us earlier on. Touch to the Spirit Realm, also fantastic to put on a creature. But then guess what? We can change control of Touch the Spirit Realm, and it stays on the battlefield under their control, and it still is doing what it needs to do. So if you can run more cards like this, you could definitely go more control heavy with Iroh, but I think just having a couple is nice. And then lastly, we have lands 35, 36 if you can include the MDFC. Nothing crazy. Secret Tunnel to give 2 of our allies unblockable. Rogue's Passage to give 1 of them unblockable. Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop to cast ally spells or create ally tokens. And then Fire Nation Palace can give a creature Firebending, which isn't too, helpful, but we can also give it to an opponent's... Oh, and it's only other creatures. Never mind. Which isn't too great for us. We don't have a whole lot we can utilize with that, but, always an option. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and do a playtest. Starting off with 2 lands, not the best. Let's go ahead and restart that. 2 lands again, but we can actually play some cards here. So let's keep it. We just need 1 more land. So Sephiroth is not the card we want to draw. Let's play Fabled Passage and grab us a mountain. We draw Buckner's Evolve first, which is not bad. We'll play Multiversal Passage. We'll choose Plains, and we'll pay 2 life to have it enter untapped, and then we'll play Buckner's Evolve Purse. Turn 3, we do not get a land, unfortunately. But we will tap this. We will roll D4. We get 2, so we get 2 treasures, and we pass this off to an opponent. So we have 3 mana. We can go ahead and cast our commander. Don't know how useful that's going to be, because we're really low on mana. So I say we probably play Lauren, the 3rd path, to draw some cards. I think that's the better option right now. I'll play Lauren, destroy opponents something that's like a mana rock, and then because we have to. Oh no, I guess it's up to. We don't have to, but I'd probably do it. And then next turn, draw a card, get an opponent to draw a card. I mean, hey, we draw the plains, and then we can cast our commander, and now it can do the game plan, right? That's the idea. So, love that. We got lucky there towards the end. Okay. All lands, some removal, and Sephiroth. Sure, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what we draw into. Master of Ceremonies is really great, actually. Love that we topped that, because that is such a great value engine for us. Okay, we'll put Boros Signet. Yeah, that worked. Alright, now we can play a mountain. We can tap 2 for Thought Vessel and tap 3 for Iroh. Iroh will enter, make us a food, and then we will, at our combat, make an ally and give the food away. So that's the idea there. Okay. Next turn. Bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 mana open. Master of Ceremonies makes a lot of sense for me. That gives us some mana open for Wear and Tear. Then we can kind of also... We can give away this ally to make another ally. It doesn't really matter. It Don't really want to give away a land or an artifact. So, yeah, just play Master of Ceremonies, hold up Wear and Tear, and then not really give anything away. So next turn, Kazul Warlord is not terrible. It buffs up our board, but we don't have anything to give away. So at this point, I think it's time for Sephiroth. Or sorry, at the beginning we did get probably like 3 things to give away. So my apologies. Yeah, so it really just depends on what our opponents pick there. We don't have a bad hand. We don't really have card draw to keep it going, right? We can play Sephiroth. We can play Kazul Warlord. Those are both good cards, but need some more card draw. And you can take cards like Stiltskin out for more card draw, right? But let's keep this hand, see how it goes. Draw. Oh, I didn't even talk about Hithlane Rope. This is a great card. It's a 2-mana artifact. Can't be sacrificed. Pay 1, tap it. Search your library for a basic land. Put on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. The player to your right gains control of Hithlane Rope. And then you can pay 2, tap it, draw a card. The player to your right gains control of Hithlane Rope. So it's another group HUD kind of card. Really great there. Let's do Stiltskin. It's a 1/2 lifelinker. We're going to start gaining some life here. Okay. We can play... I guess we could have done Fury Calm Snarl last turn with the planes in our hands. Probably should have done that. And then we play the Thought Vessel. Gain a life. Okay, no another land, but we will take Iroh. And we will make a food, and we'll make an ally. Serving it up Iroh's way. Next turn, Multiversal Passage. Sure, we would love to take this. And we're actually doing really good here. We have some decent card draw, some really solid removal, and things that we don't mind giving to our opponents. So happy to keep on this train going. At this point, it's just a, you know, every turn or so, you know, maybe we cut a deal, draw 3 cards. Those are good cards to draw. I'm glad we did too, because we also don't have lands after this. So maybe we do that, and then we play the Bagel and the Schmear, or maybe we hold up for Swords to Plowshares. If we hold up, we do have to discard, so I think it just makes sense to play the Bagel and Schmear. You know, give it to our opponent, sure, make another ally, and that ally will enter with 2 counters, right? And so on and so forth. So really, really good there. Yeah, we are in a really great spot here. This is just sort of like a longer con, or a longer game. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and make sure that you don't miss out on any of our future deck techs. We do have lots of great stuff coming up, including some giveaways once those pre-cons start coming out next year. Make sure to become a channel member as well, so you get extra entries into those giveaways. Thanks again to Manapool for helping the channel out, and I'll be back next week with another fresh deck tech. Take care. Bye.